Excuse me. Oh my goodness, clear my throat. Good. Hello. I have to remember what day it is. It's day 136. It was 9:25. I just made the video and then someone called and I didn't want to, listen to my answering machine pickup. So I'm just going to redo what I did very quickly. Um, anyway, today's video is going to be about seeing a therapist. My counselor, it's not really a counselor. I think it's a psychiatrist who can write the scripts. Uh, my prescriber had moved on to greener pastures, and so I needed to find someone new. Excuse me. And so that was what today's visit was. And I'm recording it because this is the first time that I went into a therapist office as myself, full time, etc., etc. It was really just kind of cool. Walked in and gave my information to the reception staff, and it was four women, and they all kind of looked up at me and went back to their work. It was like, maybe they sized me up and didn't care. I don't care. But it was just kind of neat, that look over, like, oh, who is that? What is she wearing? Excuse me. Et cetera, et cetera. And then we went back and I met the new guy, and he was really, really cool. And I walked into his office, and his office just had Star Wars stuff and Dune stuff and comic book stuff. And for a moment, I thought, maybe he's a pediatric person, so he has to have toys for kids. But these were his stuff, his toy. I mean, this guy had a Cloud City car that I remember when I had that. And there were a lot of things. He even had a Build a Cat, and I said, "Oh, you have a Build a Cat?" And he said, "Yeah, this is from the '80s." And I said, "Yeah." I was very fascinated by him, obviously, and his stuff and his knowledge. And when the meeting was over and we were walking out, he apparently had noticed I was reading Return of the King, and he said, "Oh, I see you. I don't see too many people these days with books. I'm glad to see you're reading Tolkien, da da da." And we had this, pretty cool conversation about Tolkien and Herbert and everything else. So, I mean, it was really kind of cool. It was really kind of cool. I kind of kept on stealing glances at his hands to see if he had a ring, and he did not. I just, hey, that's the day we stop looking is the day we die, I think. Um, when you're single. But no, he was pretty cool, and that's awesome. And I'm trying to think, I had something else I wanted to say. Oh, and Mrs. Parks asked me a lot of good questions, and then he asked me about my medication, and he said, "So spirulactone, now that's cardio, and for the moment I was like, should I tell him? Should I tell him? And I said, well, no, it's actually a testosterone blocker. And I guess that's really, in my mind, it's a tell somewhat, I'm transgender, unless my appearance doesn't tip you off anyway. I don't feel like I fool anyone, hopefully I do. But where was I going with that? But he just kept on writing, and estradiol and progesterone, and I guess on second thought, cis women, some of them have kind of an endorphin, not endorphin, but a hormonal imbalance. They might be taking something to block testosterone in the same way that as part of hormone therapy for menopause, you might be taking estrogen. You know what I mean? So, as if my hair is any guide, I'm not a spring chicken. And so, maybe not. I don't know. I was hoping to meet him again. I'll see him again in 30 days, but I know, it just struck my fancy. It was just cool to meet someone who had somewhat similar interests and whatnot. So, but that was it. And when we left, he took me to the window and said, "This is Miss Park. She needs to be back in 30 days. She will do da 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 da." And we said goodbye, and we went our separate ways. And so, again, I don't think I had any sort of fears, as far as being trans or being outed or not passing or any of those things. I think it was just, it was cool to go through the whole process and be treated as Mrs. Parks, and that's, I guess, eventually maybe that loses its coolness. It becomes old hat, like, of course, of course. And at one point, he said something about, well, do you need to see a therapist? And I did a quick bit of mental arithmetic, and I was like, no, I don't need to talk to a therapist about being fat. You know, uh, things that maybe last year I did go to a group to talk about, being loved or not loved or being appreciated, or, I feel like I'm in a good plateau in my transition that I don't really need therapy. Um, excuse me, pardon me. And really, that's it. That was the visit, and life will continue. Um, in about 2 weeks, my father is coming to town, and he, as of yet, has not seen me full time. The last time he was here, I don't even think I was on hormones yet. So, a year and a half, maybe 2 years. And so I'm hoping that from his visit, he will stop dead naming me. To replace in his own mind pictures that he has of me, that when he talks to me on the phone, he probably has, a still shot from a couple years ago. And so I'm hoping that his visit will replace some of those memories and give him new still shots. And I'm hoping that he will see that I am still doing my parental duties. I get along great with my daughter, etc., etc. I think that will be very affirming. And also, too, and I think for any child, for their parent, you definitely want their approval and their acceptance, which we don't always get, trans women, trans folks. But I think, forgot where I was going with that, too. I want him to see that I'm happy. That's it. To see, to know how miserable we were at a certain point of our life. And to a degree, if you're always that miserable person, and then you're, that's who they remember. And in reality, you're this person, and you're happy, much happier, and you can cope with life a lot better. And so that's kind of what I'm hoping he will walk away from this, is that not only will he stop using my dead name, but he will have this image of me very happy and very functional, And I don't think, as a parent, I don't think you can ask too much more than for your child to be a responsible adult, with a kind heart, compassionate, empathetic, etc., etc., fiscally responsible as a parent, being fulfilling your obligation as a parent, loving your children, being a good parent, etc., etc., etc. So, all right, my friends, that's it for today. Good luck to you in your own journey, wherever you may be. And life rolls on. All right. So, good luck. Bye-bye.